Everyone, including myself, looked at them as that perfect couple everyone knows. They got married 2 years into dating. Ben always told me how excited he was to love, hold, and protect her forever. All the ways he wanted to make her happy. He showed his love for her every day in his words and actions. I was so pleased for him because I thought she did the same. I helped her plan his surprise 30th birthday party, where he was reduced to tears upon seeing she spent hours making him a Mario Kart Rainbow Road themed cake. They talked about children, holidays, rescuing animals, and growing their fruits and vegetables. Sally quickly became my sister and became very close friends with Mary, my wife. The four of us went on countless holidays, helped each other through life's challenges, went on at least one double date a fortnight, etc. About 5 months ago, I woke up to 5 missed calls from Ben between the hours of 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. the night before, and I just had a feeling something really bad had happened. I called out of work and drove straight to his place. Sally had been cheating on Ben pretty much their entire relationship. When I confronted her and asked how she could do such a thing and why get married in the first place if you're going to cheat the entire time, she broke down and told me it was more like living a double life. Sally is fruity. She'd known since she was a teenager but never felt like she could come out because of her conservative family. She met Ben and fell in love with him, and counted on her feelings for women just somehow going away. She said she genuinely loved him as a person and life partner, but that secret part of her grew stronger and louder over the years. She casually dated and hooked up with women, telling Ben she was hanging out with friends from her friend groups. He only found out the night he'd called me because one of the women Sally was seeing wanted to take their relationship further and freaked out when Sally broke up with her instead. This woman showed up to their house late at night and told Ben everything. Ben was absolutely shattered. He gave everything to Sally and loved her wholeheartedly, but it wasn't even with her real self. She claimed to love him, but I can't help but think she was using him. She lies to everyone, letting us believe she loves and adores Ben as much as he loves her. Also that she could have her cake and eat it, too. I quickly told Ben he deserved better, but Sally begged on her hands and knees. She told him she really did love him and was willing to do anything to improve it. She would never talk to any women ever again. They could move somewhere new and start fresh. All that bullcrap. Ben fell into a deep depression because he realized he never knew the real Sally, but he did really love her. He agonized over what to do until he got hit by a drunk driver while out on a late-night walk 2 months ago. I won't go into how it felt to lose him. I'm sure you can all imagine. It was made worse by having that beach crying at his funeral, crying like he was the love of his life and she was the perfect wife. It was the first time in my life I ever wanted to hit someone. I couldn't believe the audacity to show her face around Ben's loved ones, especially the ones who knew the truth. Mary knows how I feel about Sally. I thought she understood that Sally was dead to us. I know I can't dictate who a person should/can be friends with, but if I had a mutual friend with Mary that shattered her as much as Sally did to me, I'd cut them off with no question. I can't be friends with someone who hurts my loved ones like that. About 2 weeks ago, I came home from a work trip early, and Mary was consoling Sally in our living room. I lost my poop, asked them if they were having an affair, screamed to the point of crying. I asked Mary how she could have Sally in the living room, where we had a photo of Ben hanging on the wall. Sally tried to apologize to me. I looked at her crying face, and it was like a switch flipped in me. I immediately stopped crying and yelling, and I just looked at her and said, the biggest injustice here is that you're here while Ben is on the ground. If the world were fair, I'd be able to press a button to swap your places and do that in a heartbeat. You might be able to trick my wife into feeling sorry for you, but you're dead to me. I see what you are, and you're trash. You tricked Ben into falling in love with you so you could pretend to be mommy and daddy's good little straight girl while effing whoever you wanted on the side. I can't even fathom or quantify your selfishness. If I woke up tomorrow and I was you, I'd never get out of bed ever again. Mary says I was cruel, and I guess I was, but it was my truth. Sally hasn't left her house since that confrontation. It's to the point she's lost her job because of not going into the office. The thing is, I don't feel bad about it. It's the least she could do, and I hope she continues to not exist in my world. Mary knows I think this way, but she still goes to Sally's place to bring her meals and help clean up the place. It honestly disgusts me. We've had many explosive arguments about it, and for the first time in our marriage, we might not recover from this. We both feel like we've seen a new side to each other and don't know if we'll be able to move past it. Update, it's only been a week, but it feels like forever. Mary couldn't handle the fights and disagreements anymore and packed her bag after my post. I knew this was probably for the best and didn't have it in me to argue or fight for her to stay. I just asked, are you going to Sally? She sighed and shook her head at me before leaving. Her eyes had nothing but exhaustion and disdain inside, and to be fair, I'm sure mine were the same. The town I live in isn't that big, so I've had a few friends tell me they saw Mary at Sally's place or were grocery shopping together. I wake up every day at an empty house, knowing Mary is at Sally's looking after her, asking if she's okay, cooking her meals and cleaning her house. She hasn't called or texted me at all, other than to answer my call last night with, I'm not going to talk to you until you apologize to Sally, and hanging up when I try to explain myself. I know I'd be lying if I said I felt bad for what I said to Sally. There's no point in hollow apologies, and I don't think there's a point if there's nothing left to fix in my marriage. Mary has made it clear where her loyalties and priorities lie. I just don't understand how she can go from holding me while I cried in her arms to choosing Sally over me and ignoring me. My therapist is advising me to let myself just feel my feelings and process them before making any big life choices. And she's probably right, but I've lost all respect for Mary. I never would have thought she'd betray me this way. I lay awake last night when I suddenly thought, what if Mary came back on her hands and knees, apologizing? What if she gave me the best apology she could give me for this situation? What would it change? It breaks my heart. Still, deep down, it wouldn't change anything. Some things can't be forgiven. A few comments and DMs asked if Mary and Sally could have an affair or if Mary knew about Sally before everything exploded. These questions did keep me up when all of this started going down, but now I can't bring myself to care. My life doesn't make any more, so another cluster of CK detail wouldn't change much in the grand scheme of things. I've drafted a text that could be the last text I sent to Mary, which goes as follows. Mary, your priorities and loyalties in this situation have been very clear. I don't know if you want to try to save our marriage and the life we've built together, but at this point, there's nothing left of it to save. You abandoned me during what I can only hope is the worst time of my life. You've invalidated my grief and anger for what? The woman who's been lying to and betraying for years? The woman who used and strung Ben along for years? I don't recognize you right now. It's like I went to bed in a world that made sense one night and woke up in a nightmare. The only way forward is for us to get and communicate through lawyers. I will not be leaving my house. If you want to collect your things, please let relative know so I can arrange that with them. I can't believe this is happening. I never thought this would be what we've become, but choices have been made. I've been reading and redrafting this message repeatedly for hours. Sometimes, it breaks my heart, and other times, it's like I'm an outsider watching myself in a bad movie. The worst thing is, I don't even know if Mary will care about it. I'll let you guys know if I send it. I know this can't go forever.